Hello, Jamie from Inky and Scrappy, sharing with you today a cheeky gingerbread house reveal wheel card. So I really have been struggling to sit down and actually create something. I just got back from out of state and dealing with some family tragedy stuff, and I'm really not in a Christmas mood. So creating for Christmas isn't exactly the easiest right now, and so I pulled out some of the stuff that I had left over from last year that I didn't get to. And so I kind of pulled from that stuff and figured I needed to get that. I wanted to get this one done last year. It was the reveal wheel card that I had planned last year, and I just didn't have time before Christmas hit. Christmas time is always super busy and stressful, and this year is not going to be any better on that one. So if I get a Christmas card in the mail, I'll be impressed with myself this year. So I was kind of digging through to see what I had for that gingerbread house, and I was looking for the Christmas add-on set that I'd flipped through once already and didn't realize I'd flipped through. But I don't have the gingerbread add-on for the house, and so I was kind of pulling from my Build-A-House die sets from Lawn Fawn. So I keep all of my Build-A sets from Lawn Fawn in one spot because they all interchange fairly well. And so I knew what I kind of wanted. I wanted that opening on the top to be a little bit bigger. And then I did find that frame in that spring add-on set. So I'm going to pull that one in here. And then the box window, I decided not to use it in the traditional sense. And then, of course, I'm using the trims from that birdhouse Build-A-Set. I'm just going to have to trim them down a little bit to fit the traditional Build-A-House dies. So for the background here, I just used some light blue sky ink from Close to My Heart. It's just a dye ink and I want to say it's the MFT cloud stencil. I think it's their mini, it's not the micro clouds, it's the mini clouds, I think. It's not their, I think they have 3 different size clouds. I could be wrong. I think I have the smaller one, like this one, which is the smaller size. And then I have the micro ones, which are even tinier little bumps. So I used that reveal wheel panel and cut it multiple times so I could get the hills here to line up with the frame on it. And then I was looking at putting, so my idea was with the hills, I was planning on putting like those houses that looked gingerbready in the background. It just wasn't a large enough space. If I'd have maybe gotten it onto a 5x7 panel or done it the other direction, I maybe like landscape, I probably would have put them in there. I just thought it looked too busy or too full for what I was doing for this one, and I didn't want it to be in the way for that reveal wheel mechanism on the side. And yes, my lineup skill is not very good on the front for this one, so turning it over and lining the top of the house up with that stitch line makes it a lot easier to center it and make it look like it's not falling apart. I mean, if I make a real gingerbread house, that's how it would probably go. It would probably fall apart. And then I'm just decorating the house here. My white paper here is not actually white paper. It is actually that metallic, I think it's crystal metallic from envelopes.com. It's that glorious mica speckly, fleckly goodness that we all know and love that doesn't flake off. So it's all good. So it does have some glitter and sheen to it. And then I'm using that Build-A-Birdhouse stitch or scalloped edging and then just cutting that down to fit on my original Build-A-House die set. And then for my window, I didn't want to do the full 4x4 panel. My house has 2 panel windows like this. Maybe it's because it's the old farmhouse style. And so that was kind of the look I was going for on this one. And then I decided my window needed something in it. I didn't want it to be just plain. So I'm putting some red paint on the wall behind it. And then I'm going to bring in that mini what's it called? Mistletoe. There we go, mistletoe. Can you tell I don't actually own mistletoe? So some mini mistletoe on the top there, so you can see the mistletoe through the window. I can't talk today, I'm sorry. And then I'm just going to trim that out so none of the red sticks outside of that window frame there. And then I'm bringing in just a glitter pen. I'm pretty sure I picked these up at Dollar General. So a gel pen would have worked fine too. I just needed something that was going to sit on top of the alcohol ink. And so I just put a little green bow on there. Not that you can really see it unless you're really looking at the card. So I probably could have avoided that step. And then I will add my door in. I did the door inside the same way that I did the window inside. I just forgot to push record, so you missed that part. And so I did my reveal wheel images last year. Do I remember what my thought process was on how this was going to go around? No. I did remember when I got further into the card making process, but I was like, couldn't remember the story in my head when I was making it. I figured it out. We'll get there, because I was thinking I did it backwards, and I'm like, my dog's backwards. This is totally not right. And so, yeah. And then I'm just using the scraps from foam squares, I guess, to go around it. I like using them for the back of that reveal wheel piece because they allow that space for the brad to fit and all that fun good stuff, right? So I'm going to put my house on the front so I can make sure that I line up my reveal wheel with my window on the top of the house there. And so I'm kind of adjusting where it's going to go as I do this, because I don't want it to be off center totally bad. And then once I figure out the exact placement that I want, I'm going to just hold it in place with some Post-it tape. And then I'm just using some of that leftover circle foam square stuff, or foam circle, I guess refuge you would call it, and just popping that on the back to help pop up the panel. And this is a little bit thicker than some of the normal foam circle stuff. I've had it forever. Don't ask me where it came from. I have no clue. So then I'm just going to pull off that piece there and then make sure that everything is spinning freely. And yes, I was still trying to tuck stuff in. I thought about it. But it was, if I put the one on the one side, it was definitely going to be impeding the reveal wheel. And I didn't feel I could put a house on one side and not the other side. So I just cut them from the scene. I will figure out a different card for them later on. So I'm going to use the Catch Me If You Can from that, I think it's O Snap set from Lawn Fawn for my arrow for turning the reveal wheel. I will use some anti-static powder tool, and then I'm just going to stamp this a couple of times because I probably should have stamped this before I put that foam panel on there. And then just putting some white embossing powder on there, and I'm just making sure that it's covered completely because I'm not going to be able to do this again. It's already on there. I don't want to rip it apart. For my pattern paper, I'm using some mini candy cane stuff. I want to say it's from Bella Boulevard. Don't quote me on that one. It's their Christmas pad from a couple of years ago. It's a 6x6. I have multiples of 6x6s. That's the one I ended up going with. I'm also using the Your Sweet line die from, or word line die from Lawn Fawn. I just cut off the Your. So I just cut that line straight. And this way I can use the word sweet. So if you look carefully, you'll see that little Y is still on the bottom part. Yes, I know, I forgot to push record on that one too. It's been a week. And then I'm just making sure that my whole strip here is all glued down properly before I snip this off, because I want it to be as straight as my eye's going to get it. I don't do rulers. We all know this. Very rarely do I do a ruler straight line. That would take extra time. I'm not that committed. So I have the sweet word on the bottom, and then I want to have a sweet Christmas. So I'm going to selectively stamp, and here's me hoping for the best, because we're just going to wing it, right? I didn't put it in the Misty. I thought, well, I'm just going to line this up and hope for the best. So I'm using Distress Oxide in the new Lumberjack Plaid. And then I will use my stamp chamois from L'Enfant to clean off the ink on the other side. It is probably the best investment that I took forever to buy one. And then when I did, I was like, I don't know why I hadn't bought one before, because it really does clean that stamp off, and I don't have to worry about ink sitting left over on the stamp that you didn't get off the first time. It works well for that. So here's me playing with my little gingerbread dude. So the story behind this one is, so the little puppy is chasing the gingerbread. So you see the gingerbread running, you see the puppy behind it. And then the gingerbread man is like, whew, I'm good. I lost the dog. And then the next little scene is him being bitten in half, and oh snap. Obviously, the dog snuck up on him. See? He thought he was safe, and it just didn't work that way. And yes, I probably had inky fingers, and I might have gotten some ink on the roof of my house. Don't worry, we're going to cover it up. Nobody will be any of the wiser. So I'm going to pull out some Nuvo drops for my door handle. I'm pretty sure I had one cut out somewhere. I don't know where it currently is located. I still don't know where it currently is located, even after I cleaned everything up. It's probably on the floor somewhere. So I'm just going in with a silver glitter for my door handle here. And then I'm going to pull in some Distress Diamond Sickles for, adding some extra glitter to my roof. I needed to cover up the little smudge that I put on top with my finger. So I think I did the diamond sickles. It could have been unicorn sickles, but I'm pretty sure it was the diamond sickles. So I'm going to add some glitter to my snow hills on the background, and then a little bit of glitter onto my sweet word. So the snow is like sitting in the little grooves, I guess you could say. Yeah, where it would settle. And so I'm just trying to decide exactly how much glitter I want to go with here. And so I did decide to do it in the little sweet word there, where I would think snow would settle in, kind of like your window frame, like on your windows where it kind of crusts up on the bottom side and such. And so I'm also going to put it on the roof and then on the trim on the bottom, I think. I don't know if I do that all on camera. I'm pretty sure once the camera was done rolling, I brought it back. Yeah, see, I decided I needed more glitter. And then I also decided I needed a little gingerbread man on the bottom there to just kind of pull in a little bit more of that gingerbread man theme. And because my Christmas word was way longer than the have a sweet Christmas, and so I felt it was lopsided. And so by adding in that little running gingerbread man on the side there, I kind of fixed my miscentered sentiment, I guess you could say. And then I'm using those little sweet tiny ones. I don't know where the little sweet tiny ones come from. So those little sweet tiny ones, and adding those to the background a little bit. So my glue bottle, I haven't been home for a good week. It's definitely had some like dried up goobers on the inside. I ended up unscrewing it, putting that pin in there all the way, and then just kind of cleaning the pin off, because I had tried cleaning it off a couple of times with the pin, and it would work for a little bit, and then it would just get stuck again. And so that seemed to be the best thing to do, to just get it cleaned off. I didn't want to run to the sink and wash it all out. It worked. It got the big goober that was kind of sitting there taken care of. So if you don't use your glue readily, that's maybe something you need to do. once in a blue moon. I don't know. Usually I'm, here and use it several times a week, so it's not a big deal. And then, of course, adding some little glitter to the little mini gingerbread men's buttons, or kids' buttons, I guess. And then all the things that I didn't use off to the side, I really was kind of thinking to do one of those gingerbread houses. Maybe I'll do one on the inside. I haven't done the inside of the card yet. So there is my little gingerbread reveal wheel card for you. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for joining me. I will be back next week for sure. Wednesday, I have a design team card up on the Crescent Creations YouTube channel, and I will also cross-post it here. If you follow me on Instagram, you kind of know what's going on in my life, and I thank you all for your kind words and support. I'm sorry if I have not responded to any of them. I just haven't been able to yet. Just know that I have seen them and they mean the world to me, so thank you for that. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and please keep getting inky.